How does Singapore's SMEs digitalisation compare internationally?
It's really important that our startups, our SMEs, from the word get-go, they have to think big and think beyond the Singapore market. I'm very passionate about our Heartland Merchants, Heartland Shop. I'm really proud of them because since 2020, in a short span of 18 months, more than 90% of our Heartland shops have at least one e-payment. And by now, about 2/3 of our Heartland shops have some form of online channels. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, I remember I joined him for a visit to TCM, another company, Heng Fo Tong. I think Beatrice will probably be very familiar, but they were started in the 50s selling herbal tea. And you would think of that as you really need footfall to make a living. But because they have adopted the various Enterprise Singapore's grants and schemes and they have the courage to try, like Beatrice, now they have also ventured into developing confinement packages. And the confinement packages are sold to more than 10 countries.
Wow.
So, being Heartland shops doesn't mean that your market is confined to that town or confined to Singapore.
Technology continues to move, you actually have to keep going and you actually have to build a change-ready organisation, and to use some of the terminology that you used, SMS, innovative, always looking for efficiencies, so upskilling your people so that they can continue to innovate, they can continue to look for ways to optimise so that you can do more than just implement digital tools. The other part is that you have to integrate those digital tools. You just don't drop in a digital tool and then run on. You actually have to integrate them with other digital tools so that data is moving seamlessly back and forth between all of your tools to create essentially an environment where you have access to all of the insights that you need around your business, and you're continuously looking at those things and evolving whatever digital tools and skills you have in the business, all moving forwards, connected as one.
At Oriental Remedies, we try to modernise traditional Chinese medicine, also known as TCM, with technology. And that's why digitalisation is very close to my heart. So when I started this business 6 years ago, we were mostly on pen and paper. And today we're actually exploring using AI to improve our health coaching capabilities. So one partner has really helped us is actually NTUC and E2I. So they actually worked with some consultants, and we, through like an 8-week journey with us, we actually explored what the 5-year roadmap might be for us, as well as what are the key levers that will drive the business. So to me, I say this is a bit like playing chess. There are many good steps you can make, but some steps will bring you to the win faster. Right, so for us, we actually prioritize human resource because we are very service-heavy industry. And with that, we actually looked at what are the digital tools that support, which includes a learning management system, as well as a back-end cloud system to support HR admin. I actually asked a lot of my entrepreneur friends to ensure that we are well represented here. So one very common challenge is actually on change management, right? So we know we need to change, but we don't know how to cascade it down the organization well. Right, and second one is really the lacking of technical expertise, right? Like you say, the back end, how do they connect with each other? That is also a skill that we feel is lacking, and that is the support that we need.
So if I can use an example of SME Go Digital, from year 2018 to year 2023, the SMEs that have undergone the SME Go Digital have reported cost savings of 50%. That is very substantial. Out of these 100,000 SMEs that have gone through the program, happy to share with friends here that actually more than 40,000 of the SMEs came on board in the last 4 years. So I think we have now reached the tipping point where the SMEs are convinced, like what Koren and Beatrice has mentioned, that going digital will reap the benefits in a few ways. It will raise productivity, raise your efficiency, and certainly, also help to augment the skill sets of your manpower. Because we know that we are now in a manpower constrained world, And the few constraints that Singapore-based company face remain unchanged, which is land, manpower, and increasingly carbon constraints. We know that a lot of the micro SMEs, in fact, do not have the skill or the resource or expertise, and that is why we have, in island-wide, we have 10 SME centres with an army of business advisors that can support you based on the understanding of your business operations, plans and strategy, and then pick and choose the relevant digital tools and solutions in the SME Go Digital program.
Many times when I had these conversations with my team, I realized it's actually underlying, there's a fear. And it's a fear of job security, which I think is a very valid fear, right? Given so much news on AI and tech displacing jobs. And so how we try to change this mindset is really to quantify the improvements from tech and how that actually value adds to their work. Right, so one example I can give is we are upgrading our appointment system where we send reminders to our 100 of patients every day that comes for visits. And last time it took one of my teammates 4 hours a day just to send reminders. Now with the automation and the scripting, we are taking less than 1 hour, right? And then this 3 hours that is gained, we have actually got them to call patients and to build that human connection, which tech tools cannot replace. And on top of that, we send them for external customer service excellence training. And I think this really helps them to see the value add in the automation, that it supports their work and not potentially take it away from them. In terms of digital marketing and e-commerce, there has been quite a lot of investment for us. Actually, now we're trying to bring it up one level by looking at different sources of data and how we can actually acquire the patients that we can best serve at the lowest possible cost. So at our clinic, we actually see, example, a lot of eczema patients, and they come with really angry, red, weeping skin. And personally, I've seen in maybe 2 to 3 visits, they start to have new skin. And I think more importantly is they actually glow from within, right? That confidence that they find with good skin again. So it's with this motivation, I've been trying to think really hard, where can I find these patients to serve at the lowest possible cost? And data tools and analysis will actually help me with a better ROI as well.
I remember meeting and coming across another SME. This is called Cresta Fan Company. So we use their products, and they have a lean team, and they've used PSG, and the PSG program includes the Microsoft Copilot, which is an AI assistant.
Yes.
And they use that to simulate the work of a virtual customer support, similar to what Beatrice has mentioned. And with that, it will help them to do a few things. Number one, completely distill and synthesize long email threads, make sense of it, which will take a long time for their staff to do so. And also to automate very, very routine tasks, which then free up the staff to be able to conduct and undergo and take charge of strategic activities. It's not just about raising productivity and efficiency, actually it's also leveraging digitalisation, AI, to reach untapped market, not just in Singapore, but in the world.
And I have to take my XERO hat off for a second and put my SME hat on for a moment. As you know, I've run my own small businesses, and I think that cloud accounting is foundational to the majority of businesses. You cannot rely on what is in your bank account to let you know whether or not you have a healthy business and whether or not you can, make a decision to invest or to, in terms of your goals, to utilise the funds that are in your bank account just by looking at that number. So cloud accounting to give you transparency on your finances and help you to move in the direction of your goals. What we're seeing on the horizon, super exciting, agentic AI. So you give the agent an outcome and you say this is what we want to achieve, whether it's from a business sense, something like I want to keep my wage costs under a certain percentage, and then you give them all the information and they basically work in the background. I'm referring to them as though they're a human being. They're not, clearly. But they work in the background to deliver on the outcomes that you're asking for and make decisions and continue to go in different directions to achieve that outcome for you, bringing the human in the loop all the way along. The other part to that, which I think it also seems incredibly futuristic, but is humanoid robotics, which is on the cusp at the moment as well. So when you put the thinking power of agentic AI into humanoid robots, you've got quite life-changing resources. Everything can be used for positive or negative, and you absolutely have to have, you know, guardrails, legislation, all of those things have to come into play. But lots and lots of opportunity, and I would say lots of opportunity, especially for marginalised populations. So especially for women, a lot of the time when you look at what these humanoid robots with agentic AI embedded, what they're capable of to relieve the burden, you know, especially in the household a lot of the time.
Firstly, I want to acknowledge that cybersecurity is really adding a layer of stress and complexity to many small business owners like us.
Okay.
But I think we can also start small. So one of the very simple things we actually educate our team, including myself, is to have good passwords with the multi-factorial authentication. That's already like a first layer to prevent any hacking. And even things like what do we put into these free AI platforms as well, right? Just as Koren was saying, everything can be used for good and bad. So I'm also very conscious about putting confidential information in there in case there are any leaks. But as the business scale, I realize the challenge is also, like you said, with PDPA and data breaches. So we're actually, I was literally scrolling the PSG grant website to see what possible vendors and support we can get to really design for the next level of growth, right? Where we can really, especially for us with patient data, to protect it.
As early as 2019, we have developed our what we call the Model AI Governance Framework. And in fact, shortly after that, we have also rolled out advisory guidance to our companies on how to deploy AI very responsibly. So IMDA is working very, very closely with more than 170 corporate partners in this ecosystem to develop what we call the AI Verify Foundation. So it's a bit of, you know, coming together as a community to really moot the standards and the safeguards. And so we want to take a very pragmatic and also substantive approach, knowing that having a very trusted as well as vibrant, innovative AI ecosystem, it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. It can be mutually, you know, reinforcing.